Hey, it's Rich Vision. Just want to do another poetry reading for my book, From Victim to Victor, Transforming Trauma into Triumph. It is available on Amazon and also on my website. If you didn't buy, please purchase a copy and please support. Mental health is important and your mental health is also important as well. I'm doing a quick virtual poem reading again from my book called Giving Up Is Not an Option. I want to do something more empowering. Sold myself a lie. Be another statistic or succumb to suicide. Why did I compromise my worth at the expense of... Why did I compromise my worth at the expense of another's watered lies? Every single dream erased from my teary eyes. I'm not a handyman. My soul needs repair. If I placed this blade on my wrist, who would care? Paul Burris in HD, clear sight. Nearly overdosed, too close. Treating myself like the abuser, doors closed. Cursing myself out. Thought of giving up, wonder what life was all about. How did I march to victory? Writing my obituary. I'm ordained to leave a legacy, believing no one would remember me. As I pulled my hands away from the bag, the ones I wanted to place over my head. How can I just relax? All my life, I was told my music is just bad. Internalize every single word. How can I be a blessing and a curse? Why did I think I was wasting space? I wish there was a button so I could be erased. Fetal position, my floor gave me false closure. Disposition to feel uplifted or profess soldier. To march my way to victory as I wrote my early obituary. God woke me up for a reason, to bring hope to those who stop believing. I envision myself walking head up high on the stage, saying I am the catalyst for change. No more speaking malice over me, no more cutting myself. That is not helping me. I am ending the stigma and I'm going to therapy. I am not less of a man if I confide in therapy. I'm gonna let that sit. Mental scars I endured. Your music is trash I endured. Your false hope I endured. God said I was meant for more. You're not messing with my head. I am on the mend. You will not entice me to view me unworthy, highly unlikely. God carved me to create history and for legacy. God planted a seed so others to foster. For others to foster. Giving up isn't an option. God was in my corner. Giving up is not an option. God was on my roster. Giving up, I can't relate. No more broken faith. No more vices or empty escapes. Giving up is not an option. Someone needs me today. That one was Giving Up Is Not an Option for my book, From Victim to Victor, Transforming Trauma into Triumph. If you do order the book, you get the custom bookmark and also business card and also the bookmark as well. But most importantly, get to that as well. I am victorious because my past does not define me. Okay, so for this poem is very, very deep. I yeah, I gave up on myself a lot. For a long time, for years, I gave up on myself. I just acted as if, I mean, I was going through the motions, really. I was just like, work, gym, you know what I mean? Everything was a constant, was a routine for me. And I really realized that my self-care was lacking, especially during the pandemic. Um, there was times where I didn't really, my self-care was horrible. Like I really was, hurting myself. I would give up on myself. Um, I was just, had a defeatist mentality. When I was going through mental abuse, I was wondering why it happened to me. Why couldn't things happen? Hey, Don. Yeah, when I was just wondering why things were happening, what I say to me, but it was actually happening for me, but I didn't really know that mental abuse really almost made me commit suicide. And I was thinking about giving up so many times on, even I mentioned about like me, swallowing wanting to swallow ammonia, and my sister was there to grab it from my hands. So many times instances where I felt like I was not enough. I felt like I was just a waste of space. I felt like putting a bag over my head. And, I felt like swallowing lead. There were so many instances during the pandemic where I felt like I was lost. I felt like I was, beating myself to the ground. Times I would literally like pinch myself and compare myself to other people in the music industry. Like I really gave up on myself. I'm like, it was to the point where I was like disgusted about the person I saw in the mirror. Thinking about like what God thinks of me, and then versus like what I think about myself, and I'm just like it doesn't match. For me, like the biggest epiphany was getting into therapy, realizing like after like that mental health scare with the ammonia bottle, I was like, this is really ridiculous. This is like getting out of hand, and it's like I needed to do something to really get back on track with reevaluating how I view life, and making sure like I'm mentally okay, not just say I'm okay, but also like mentally okay, and not like wearing a fake mask and pretending like I'm good and I'm not. What changed for me is having people hold space for me. Getting into communities, getting into therapy was helpful to be able to navigate some of the mental abuse I was going through, but also some of the limiting beliefs that I was still ensnared with. And during the pandemic, I just realized that my purpose, I should have changed my purpose for a lot of years. It took a lot of inner work for me to realize the person I was meant to become. Meant to become. I'm also realizing the people in my life really served the purpose. They they came through. They heard me out. They confided. I confided in them. They didn't judge me, and I'm just grateful that when I wanted to give up, that I had community. And I challenge, if you're listening to right now, if you feel like giving up, there's always a way out. There's always community. There's hotline numbers. There's so many resources today that is so accessible when it comes to mental health. And I'm so grateful that there's so many resources now that people can tap into and really utilize so that they can live, and be here for their families, be here for their legacies, and for their own careers, and be able to thrive and not have to resort to suicide. I'm all about that, like not giving up on yourself. not committing suicide. My music is all about that too, and encouraging those people who were just like me to not give up on themselves, to not think that suicide is the only way. There's always an alternative if you're willing to reach out to someone for guidance and help. I do have hotline numbers on my inside the book as well as resources. Um, as well, because I'm thinking, I'm like, how will I be able to serve other people with my book besides telling my stories? Like, I have resources as well that people again could tap into if they're needing the guidance and support, because it's like you teach one, each one teach one. So it's like, for me, it's like, I think paraphrasing, but like, one person knows something and be able to pass it on to another, that may help someone really get through a tough time. And if I'm able to help with this book and encourage people to keep going, then I've done my job, and I'm so grateful for everyone who has not given up on me, because it really is a testament of resilience on behalf of people who didn't want to see me in a casket and not and leave my gift, which is to make music to empower the youth and to empower people who were mentally struggling mentally, such as I was, and to have the music hold space for them when they feel like they're so that they know that they're not alone in their struggles, and that they always have someone to in a sense be a witness to what they're going through. And that's something that I'm always rallying about in my music and in my book. It's like community, community, community. Like, I can't stress that enough when it comes to mental health, when it comes to suicide. Community is so important, because no man is a village, no woman is a village. And I know, like, in order for me to really continue to thrive in my life, I always stay connected with community. I have a accountability team that holds me accountable. I have, men's group that I tap into virtually. I have a therapist that I'm seeing on a weekly basis. Like, everything is about community, and it's about talking about the things that are hard to talk about. Giving up is an option for me. That was a promise that I made to myself, because I knew if I would have gave up on myself, I would have gave someone else a reason to give up on themselves, because little did I know, people were living through my music, and the music that I've yet to release, you know what I mean, that's still on hard drives, that's still on my computer. And it's like, imagine all those things, that, let's say if I would have pulled the plug on myself, imagine how many lives, I could have saved if, if I would have put them out, if I was not here to tell my story and put the book out to share my story, that you're also able to come out of the ashes and rise up like a phoenix and tell your story, tell your testimony, and shed your light to be light in the dark place for someone else who's in a dark space. And that's my goal. That's always been my mission since I could remember. Someone saying my music, my YouTube saved his life. And ever since that day, I just kept on telling myself, don't give up on my dreams, don't give up on my purpose. There's someone else who's confiding in something that I say, whether or not I believe it all the time 100%. I don't believe it 100%. I'm just being honest. There's times I'm just like, I don't know if my music is impacting people. I don't know if it's making a difference, but when people come up to me and tell me these things, I'm reminded that I have to keep going. I get to keep going. I get to empower the youth. I get to empower adults to keep going with this book. There's so much that I would love to say, but I just want to remind you to keep going, to stay here for you, for your family, and your legacy. Please purchase the book if you didn't have the book. It's available also on Amazon, but also my website. I would appreciate it if you order directly from the website, as Amazon takes a lot of funds from the book. However, I'm also leaving that as an option because I know people. Amazon is something that people is is popular, and people, it's easy to purchase on Amazon and things like that, which I understand. I do order from Amazon as well, so